He won Wimbledon and the US Open, helped his team win the Davis Cup, and was the best tennis player in the world. But many people remember him more for his angry outbursts than his incredible talent. Did John McEnroe's temper hurt his legacy? Was he his own worst enemy? Let's find out. In July 1978, John McEnroe, then 18, made a significant entrance at Wimbledon, wielding a precisely 11-ounce racket. He refined his game at the USTA Training Center in New York, utilizing the latest gear. On July 3rd, McEnroe advanced past the first round by defeating Peter Malfatti with scores of 6-4, 6-3, 6-2, displaying his formidable serve and volley technique. By July 5th, he encountered Stan Smith in the second round, securing victory with scores of 7-5, 6-4, 6-5, distinguishing himself with his powerful serves and rapid reflexes. Despite limited resources, McEnroe's determination was fueled by personal savings and local tennis club support. On July 7th, he triumphed over Jimmy Connors in the quarterfinals, with scores of 6-3, 7-6, 6-4, despite two heated exchanges with the umpire over line calls. The audience witnessed his fiery temperament, yet his exceptional prowess prevailed. By July 9th, McEnroe advanced to the semifinals, marking him as the youngest semifinalist at Wimbledon that year. His first serve averaged 115 miles per hour, impressive for his age. Facing experienced opponents, McEnroe's combination of skill and passion propelled him forward. His on-court outburst during the semifinal against Bjorn Borg on July 10th highlighted his volatile nature, captivating public interest. This month, McEnroe not only showcased his extraordinary tennis skills but also the fierce intensity that would define his public image. By the summer of 1978, John's fiery presence on the tennis court was unmistakable, captivating audiences and marking him as a rising star. Just over a year later, in September 1979, he brought that same intensity to the US Open, ready to prove his mettle once more. In September 1979, John McEnroe arrived at the US Open courts determined to make his mark. Rigorous training at the USTA facilities in Flushing Meadows and the support of a dedicated coaching team prepared him well. Armed with a 12-ounce racket, McEnroe faced Vitas Gerulaitis in the quarterfinals on September 1st. His competitive spirit was evident when, after dropping the fourth set 6-4, he challenged the line call with the now famous "You can't be serious." Despite his frustration, he maintained focus. The final, set for September 2nd against Jimmy Connors, showcased McEnroe's exceptional serve and volley game, his serves averaging 120 miles per hour. During a critical second set breakpoint, McEnroe's exasperation over a missed shot resulted in an emotional outburst. "This racket is hell." This momentary lapse, however, didn't deter him. Instead, he refocused, claiming the set 7-5 and eventually winning the match with scores 6-4, 6-5, 6-3, securing his first US Open title. Throughout the tournament, McEnroe's fiery temperament was evident as he accrued over 20 code violations. Yet his ability to channel his emotions into his game was integral to his success. His remarkable performance, particularly the 5 consecutive games he won in the final set, underscored his relentless drive and solidified his legacy as a formidable figure in tennis history. After his triumphant win at the US Open, John's fiery temperament continued to be both his greatest asset and challenge. As he entered the Australian Open, his emotional intensity was palpable, setting the stage for more battles that extended beyond the tennis court. During the January 1980 Australian Open, John McEnroe found himself battling not just his opponents, but his own intense frustration. On January 15th, during his second round match against Peter McNamara, McEnroe was up 2-1. However, after losing the fourth set 6-3, his temper began to flare. He abruptly stood up, racket in hand, and slammed it against the baseline, exclaiming, "This is ridiculous." The crowd fell silent as umpires approached, yet McEnroe persisted in disputing line calls, his voice growing louder with each contested point. His resources that day included his trusted Wilson Pro Staff 6.0 racket and the support of his coach, who attempted to calm him from the sidelines. Despite having access to water and towels within reach, his attention remained fixed on the game and his mounting frustration. By January 16th, in the quarterfinals against Chris Lewis, McEnroe's frustration had escalated further. Losing 2 crucial sets, he threw his hat in the air and shouted at the umpire, "You can't see anything." His actions included excessive foot stomping and aggressive gestures, which distracted both himself and his opponent. The relentless Australian sun added to the tension, testing McEnroe's physical and emotional limits. On January 18th, following another heated exchange that led to a code violation, his performance visibly suffered. His serve, typically a powerful weapon, faltered, and he lost the match in 5 sets. These outbursts, while highlighting his fierce competitiveness, overshadowed his undeniable skill on the court. McEnroe concluded the tournament with a 45% first serve percentage and accumulated 3 code violations, illustrating how his temper directly impacted his performance during that specific time frame. After the emotional ups and downs of the Australian Open in 1980, John was back on the court with a renewed focus by June 1981. At Wimbledon, the excitement was palpable as he advanced to the final, determined to clinch his first title with his trusty Wilson racket and coach by his side. In June 1981, the atmosphere at Wimbledon was electric as John McEnroe advanced to the final on June 30th. With his trusted Wilson Pro Staff 6.0 racket in hand and his coach by his side, McEnroe was focused on securing his first Wimbledon title. The final, held on July 5th, saw him face off against the legendary Bjorn Borg. From the beginning, McEnroe's intense nature was evident. During the second set, he vocally challenged the umpire's line calls after losing a crucial break point. "That's not fair," he exclaimed, visibly frustrated. As the match progressed, McEnroe engaged in multiple disputes, with 3 notable outbursts by the 4th set, each drawing reactions from the audience and testing his composure. Despite these emotional displays, McEnroe's remarkable skill shone through. In the decisive 5th set tiebreak, his serve percentage dropped to 45%, yet he persevered to claim victory with a score of 7-6, 6-3, 6-7, 6-2, 6-4. Surprisingly, he avoided immediate fines or disqualifications post-match, and the narrative quickly shifted to his reputation. The media intensified their focus, examining his every gesture and loud objection during the game, which overshadowed his triumph. By the end of July, McEnroe found his public image under scrutiny as fans and commentators debated the balance between his exceptional talent and volatile demeanor. This month proved pivotal in McEnroe's career, where his love for tennis was simultaneously celebrated through his championship win and critiqued for his fiery temperament on the court. As the summer of 1983 unfolded, John's on-court presence remained fiery and unpredictable, echoing the debates about his character that had started in 1981. With his competitive drive still as intense as ever, he found himself in the spotlight once more, juggling the acclaim from his Wimbledon victories with the scrutiny of his passionate outbursts. In July 1983, just weeks after John McEnroe secured his second Wimbledon title on July 3rd, his fiery nature became increasingly prominent. On July 15th, during a match at Queen's Club, McEnroe fiercely contested a footfall call, slamming his Wilson Pro Staff 6.0 racket on the court and shouting, "Come on, are you serious?" This was his second notable outburst of the month, following a July 8th charity exhibition incident where he chastised a linesman for a questionable call with, "You've got to be kidding me." His confrontations extended beyond words. On July 22nd, during a televised doubles match, he incurred a $1,500 fine for unsportsmanlike behavior after disputing a service lead. Despite access to elite coaching and support, McEnroe's frustrations were palpable, exacerbated by the pressure to uphold his champion status amid intensified media scrutiny. By mid-July, he had accumulated 3 fines, and his assertive gestures during matches became a frequent topic in daily headlines. Although his earnings for the month totaled $500,000 from tournament victories, fines and legal fees significantly reduced this sum. Fans began to question whether his outstanding talent was being overshadowed by his volatile demeanor. The July 1983 events highlighted a critical transition in McEnroe's public image, blending respect for his exceptional abilities with growing concern over his on-court conduct. This period marked a shift in perception, balancing admiration with scrutiny. After a turbulent July 1983 that saw John struggle under the weight of his own temper, his on-court battles continued to be a defining part of his career. Fast forward to September 1984, he was again in the spotlight, facing Evan in the US Open final, where familiar tensions surfaced but were met with a newfound resilience. On September 9, 1984, John McEnroe faced a formidable opponent, Ivan Lendl, in the US Open final. Known for his fiery temperament, McEnroe encountered a pivotal moment early in the third set when a disputed line call at 4-all tested his composure. Frustration bubbled over as he argued with this umpire, his voice cutting through the crowd's noise. The tension reached a peak when he slammed his Wilson Pro Staff 6.0 racket onto the court, momentarily disrupting his focus. Despite having elite coaching and the steadfast support of his family in the stands, McEnroe felt the pressure of the moment. However, with a deep breath and a moment's pause, he recalibrated his mindset. This internal shift did not go unnoticed, as Lendl adjusted his strategy to counter McEnroe's renewed determination. By the fifth set, McEnroe led with scores of 6-4, 3-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-3, demonstrating a remarkable ability to channel his emotions effectively. Ultimately, he triumphed with a 6-3, 6-7, 6-1, 6-7, 6-4 victory, securing his third US Open title. This match underscored McEnroe's capacity to master his internal battles, highlighting his mental resilience and confirming his status as a tennis legend. After his thrilling US Open victory, John continued to be a formidable force on the tennis court, yet his fiery reputation was starting to cast a shadow. By June 1985, his temperamental clashes, like those at Wimbledon, were gaining more attention, influencing not just the audience but also his endorsement deals. By June 1985, John McEnroe's fiery reputation began to impact his endorsement deals significantly. On June 4th, during a match at Wimbledon, McEnroe's clash with the umpire over a line call led to a 3-minute suspension, garnering extensive media coverage. Over 500 outlets reported on the incident, prompting sponsors to reconsider their partnerships with the volatile tennis star. Nike, a major sponsor, experienced a 15% decline in tennis shoe sales that month, partially due to the negative press surrounding McEnroe's behavior. Another explosive reaction during a charity exhibition in London on June 18th further strained his relationships with brands. Despite being equipped with his iconic Wilson Pro Staff racket and supported by a dedicated management team, McEnroe found negotiations increasingly challenging. Advertisers grew cautious, associating their brands with unpredictability was a risk they were unwilling to take. By mid-June, McEnroe had reportedly lost 2 key endorsement deals, amounting to an estimated $2 million annually. The situation underscored the tension between his prowess on the court and the market's demand for consistency in personal conduct. His team diligently attempted to mitigate the fallout by highlighting his athletic achievements and philanthropic contributions. Nevertheless, the backlash was swift, with sponsors favoring stability over controversy. By the end of June 1985, McEnroe faced a pivotal moment in his career. He had to navigate the fine line between expressing his passion for tennis and upholding professional relationships, emphasizing the intricate balance between an athlete's public persona and commercial viability. This period was crucial in redefining McEnroe's approach to endorsements and his future in the world of sports marketing. As the years progressed, John struggled to balance his intense passion for tennis with professional expectations persisted. By January 1990, this ongoing battle reached a dramatic peak at the Australian Open. In January 1990, during the Australian Open, an unforgettable incident unfolded involving John McEnroe. On January 21st, in a heated match against Sergei Bruguera, McEnroe's temper flared under the intense Sydney sun. As the competition intensified, he found himself embroiled in a dispute with the umpire over a contentious line call, brandishing his renowned Wilson Pro Staff racket in exasperation. The first warning for unsportsmanlike conduct followed swiftly, marking a breach of the tournament's regulations. Despite this, McEnroe's frustration simmered. By the second set on January 22nd, his agitation reached a boiling point, resulting in him smashing his racket repeatedly after losing a pivotal point, which incurred a point penalty for racket abuse. His coaching team stationed at Court 3 attempted to placate him, yet the mounting pressure was palpable. The atmosphere was charged, with spectators on edge and fellow players observing with bated breath. On January 23rd, as the match ventured into a decisive tiebreak, McEnroe's verbal altercation with the umpire and officials escalated following another disputed call. This final outburst prompted a game penalty. Reaching 3 code violations under the tournament's stringent framework, McEnroe faced disqualification from the match. Officials did not take this decision lightly, having closely monitored his conduct throughout the week. Despite his management team's efforts to negotiate within their limited means, the rules were unequivocal. The disqualification not only dashed his aspirations in that tournament but also served as a stark reminder of the precarious balance between his fiery passion and the professional standards expected. McEnroe's actions at the Australian Open on January 23, 1919 underscored the ongoing tension between his emotional intensity and the demands of professional tennis, marking a pivotal moment in his storied career. After navigating the turbulent waters of professional tennis, John found himself on a different path by June 1995. He turned towards coaching, carrying his fiery passion and draw into training the next generation of players. In June 1995, John McEnroe transitioned into coaching, bringing his renowned intensity to this new venture. On June 15th, he commenced his role at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, utilizing top-tier facilities and supported by a team of 5 staff members. McEnroe began with a cohort of 12 junior players, immediately establishing rigorous standards. His sessions ran from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., focusing on precision and aggressive techniques that mirrored his playing style. By the middle of the month, he introduced his hallmark intensity workouts, which consisted of 10-hour practice sessions twice a week, aimed at enhancing both physical and mental fortitude. On June 22nd, during a particularly challenging drill, McEnroe's dynamic presence was evident as he alternated between encouragement and critique, urging athletes to surpass their limits. That month, players saw a 15% increase in their first serve accuracy, a testament to his demanding training regimen. However, his approach wasn't without challenges. On June 30th, he had a tense interaction with a promising 16-year-old player who struggled to meet his expectations. This incident underscored the duality of McEnroe's coaching style. While it spurred significant progress, it also imposed substantial pressure. Players who embraced his energy flourished, with 3 juniors securing victories in regional tournaments by the month's end. In contrast, 2 athletes found the intensity overwhelming. June 1995 was pivotal for McEnroe and the young athletes he aimed to mentor, characterized by a blend of rigorous discipline and the drive to excel, setting the stage for transformative growth. After leaving a lasting impact on budding players with his intense coaching style in 1995, John took on a different challenge 6 years later. In April 2001, he brought the same passion to his new role as a television commentator with NBC Sports, captivating audiences with his insightful and lively analysis. In April 2001, John McEnroe embarked on a new chapter in his career as he joined NBC Sports as a television commentator. His debut was marked by a live broadcast from Wimbledon on April 5th, where his dynamic and passionate analysis quickly captivated audiences. Equipped with cutting-edge broadcasting tools including multiple camera feeds and instant replay systems, McEnroe utilized his extensive tennis knowledge to offer incisive critiques. A highlight came during the US Open quarter-final on April 12 between Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, where McEnroe engaged in a lively debate with fellow analyst Jim Courier over Agassi's serve technique. This exchange, lasting nearly 5 minutes, attracted over 2 million viewers, marking it as one of the most watched segments that month. Throughout April, McEnroe completed 15 live commentaries, each characterized by his candid evaluations and occasional fervent outbursts. His analytical acumen shone through as he cited specific statistics, such as a 10% drop in a player's first serve percentage during critical moments. During a spirited discussion on April 25th about a contentious line call, McEnroe's authentic approach resonated with fans, leading to a significant increase in his social media presence. Despite some tense interactions, his genuine passion for the sport endeared him to many, transforming his broadcast into must-see events. McEnroe's initial month as a commentator firmly established his reputation, demonstrating that his intense nature was an asset that enriched the viewer experience. His ability to merge expertise with emotion made April 2001 a defining moment in his media career, showcasing a new side of his vibrant personality. As John transitioned from the commentator booth to the tennis courts, his passionate nature found a new outlet. By mid-2010, he shifted focus to nurturing young talent, eager to share his wealth of experience with budding players at the New York Tennis Academy. By mid-2010, John McEnroe embraced the role of mentor, aiming to nurture the next generation of tennis talents. In March, he initiated a mentorship program at the New York Tennis Academy, dedicating 20 hours weekly to train young players. Armed with his wealth of experience and supported by 5 assistant coaches, McEnroe sought to integrate his insights with contemporary coaching methods. However, the initial reactions were mixed. On April 12th, during a session with a group of 12 aspiring athletes, McEnroe's intense response to a missed serve, marked by raised voice and visible frustration, drew attention from local media, underscoring his temper as a potential hurdle. By June, attendance had decreased by 25%, with feedback suggesting that his fiery demeanor discouraged some players from seeking his mentorship. Despite access to top-notch facilities and a committed support team, McEnroe faced challenges in fostering a positive environment. On August 23rd, an academy survey revealed that only 40% of participants felt motivated by his mentorship, attributing their reluctance to his confrontational approach. In response, McEnroe organized a workshop focused on emotional management, aiming to temper his reactions and cultivate a more supportive atmosphere. Progress, however, was gradual. By October, while he successfully guided 2 players to regional victories, the overall perception of his mentorship remained marred by his well-known temper. McEnroe continued to invest in refining his approach, recognizing that patience and composure were vital for effective mentorship. This period in 2010 highlighted the intricate balance McEnroe navigated as he transitioned from legendary player to mentor, with his passionate nature both driving his commitment and posing challenges in his new role. As the years went by, he continued to balance his passion for the game with his mentorship responsibilities. By 2018, John was back on the court for the Legends charity exhibition in New York City, reminding everyone that his legendary temper still lingered. In July 2018, John McEnroe participated in the Legends charity exhibition in New York City on the 15th, drawing over 5,000 spectators eager to witness the tennis icon in action. Equipped with his signature racket and supported by a team of 2 coaches and 3 assistants, McEnroe aimed to demonstrate his enduring skills. The event, involving former champions, was held to raise funds for local youth programs. By July 16th, as the match progressed, tensions surfaced when McEnroe disputed a line call at 4-3, challenging the decision, which the officials did not overturn. Frustration escalated, culminating in a heated exchange on the 17th, where he slammed his racket to the ground following a disputed serve, eliciting gasps from the crowd. His exclamation, "Come on, that was clearly out," was met with an umpire warning, yet his temper persisted. On July 18th, midway through the exhibition, McEnroe's behavior intensified. After losing a crucial point, he confronted the referee, demanding a replay, which led to security stepping in to calm the situation. Statistics from that day indicated McEnroe committed 5 code violations, a record for the event. His actions, although overshadowing his performance, reminded fans of his legendary temper. By July 19th, the exhibition concluded with McEnroe securing a victory with scores of 6-4, 5-7, 7-6. Despite his win, the focus remained on his fiery outbursts. The 3-day event underscored how his notorious temper from his professional days still lingered, captivating and unsettling the audience. McEnroe left the court with mixed emotions, his passion evident, yet his confrontations left a lasting impression on those present. As the dust settled from the intense exhibition matches in July 2018, John shifted gears over the next couple of years, channeling his passion from the court to the commentary booth. By August 2020, he was ready to apply his keen insights at the US Open, embracing his role as a commentator with the same energy that defined his playing days. In August 2020, as the US Open approached, John McEnroe was deeply invested in his role as a commentator and analyst. On August 25th, he began preparing for the tournament by delving into player statistics and match histories to craft insightful commentary. Equipped with state-of-the-art broadcasting tools and a dedicated team of producers, McEnroe ensured his analyses were both precise and engaging for viewers. As the tournament commenced on August 31st, McEnroe became a familiar presence on the commentary desk. On September 5th, during the 4th round, he underscored the emerging talent of Emma Raducanu, emphasizing her improvement in first serve percentage to 65%, a crucial element in her matches. His astute observations illuminated the intricacies of each game, drawing extensively from his rich experience without crossing into coaching territory. Midway through the tournament on September 9th, McEnroe joined the panel discussion concerning the pandemic's impact on players' performances. He integrated data from the month, such as a 10-minute reduction in average match duration compared to the previous year, to substantiate his points. Despite his once notorious temper on the court, McEnroe maintained a composed and professional demeanor, fostering a constructive atmosphere among his fellow analysts. Throughout the event, McEnroe abstained from coaching any players, concentrating solely on delivering expert commentary. By September 13th, as the US Open concluded, his contributions had been instrumental in enriching the audience's comprehension and enjoyment of the tournament. His role remained entirely analytical, ensuring that the legacy of his fiery on-court temperament did not influence the dynamics of the 2020 US Open teams. As the 2020 US Open drew to a close, John's commitment to tennis and insightful analysis set a new standard for commentary. Fast forward to 2025, and he brought that same passion to his popular sports podcast, where he expressed his admiration for Gael's remarkable performances at the Australian Open, showcasing his deep appreciation for the sport and its players. In January 2025, John McEnroe used his popular sports podcast on January 10th to express his admiration for Gael Monfils, particularly following Monfils' remarkable victory over Taylor Fritz at the Australian Open on January 8th, where Monfils achieved a 6-3, 7-5 win with a 68% first serve success. McEnroe lauded Monfils' strategic prowess, remarking, "Watching Gael outmaneuver Fritz with such finesse, it reminded me why tennis is a beautiful game." On January 15th, during a live interview on a prominent sports network, McEnroe delved further into Monfils' performance, highlighting his agility and creativity on the court that captivated fans even as he contended with injuries. He noted Monfils' recent retirement from a match against Ben Shelton on January 12th due to a hamstring strain, but emphasized, despite the setback, Gael's passion for the game shines through every match he plays. Throughout the month, McEnroe accessed detailed match analytics and footage, enabling him to offer an in-depth and heartfelt appreciation of Monfils' talents. On January 22nd, he shared a reflective piece on social media, outlining Monfils' career achievements: 8 ATP finals and a steady presence in the top 20 rankings, despite not securing a Grand Slam title. McEnroe reflected, "Shifting my focus from the heat of competition to celebrating players like Gael has brought a new sense of joy to my love for tennis." By the end of January, McEnroe's consistent praise not only highlighted Monfils' exceptional skills but also underscored his own personal growth. His balanced and positive approach this month illustrated a man who channels his enduring passion for tennis into admiration and support, celebrating the sport's true essence. Throughout January, McEnroe's admiration for Gael Monfils showcased his love for the sport, and it was this same passion that fueled his dedication to coaching and commentary. On January 25th, he prepared for his weekly coaching webinar, driven by the zeal that had marked his recent reflections on tennis greats. John McEnroe on January 25, 2025, was immersed in preparing for his weekly coaching webinar from his home studio. Utilizing his vast experience since retiring in 1992, he reviewed recent senior tennis circuit statistics with his characteristic enthusiasm. Earlier in the week, on January 18th, he successfully mentored 3 young athletes, significantly enhancing their backhand percentages by 12%, demonstrating the effectiveness of his coaching techniques. Equipped with advanced tools like high-definition match footage and real-time analytics software, McEnroe meticulously tailored lessons to suit each player's individual strengths and weaknesses. By January 20th, he had organized a live Q&A session with his team, attracting over 5,000 aspiring tennis players eager to learn from his legendary career. During this session, he highlighted the critical importance of mental resilience, a skill he perfected during his professional career. His passionate discourse on strategies to maintain focus under pressure, drawn from his championship experiences and 77 career titles, resonated deeply with attendees. On January 23rd, McEnroe served as a commentator for the senior doubles tournament in San Jose, delivering expert analysis praised for his depth and clarity. His ability to distill complex plays into understandable insights made the broadcast highly engaging, further cementing his reputation as a respected tennis voice. Throughout January, McEnroe balanced his coaching, commentary, and senior competition engagements. His dedication and passionate approach not only inspired the next generation of players but also reinforced his enduring legacy as a tennis icon with an influence that transcends his remarkable championship victories. John McEnroe is one of the most famous tennis players in history. He won 7 Grand Slam singles titles and was known for his great skills and strong emotions on the court. His rivalries with players like Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors made tennis exciting for fans. After retiring, he became a popular commentator and coach, sharing his knowledge of the game. His passion for tennis and his unique personality have made him a lasting legend in the sport.